Construction of the permanent State House in Rhode Island begins on a plot of land in Providence just north of downtown in 1895. Over the next 5 years, thousands of masons, electricians, and craftsmen would build a monument to state government never seen before. Plans for the Italian Renaissance building are first drawn up during an architectural competition in 1890.
I like to think that the buildings that we build tell us a lot about ourselves when we build them. And if you think about Rhode Island in 1890, it was probably the wealthiest state per capita in the Union. It was the center of a tremendous amount of industry, of textile industry, of jewelry manufacturing, of machine tool industry. It was a wealthy state. It was a state that was extremely confident.
Back in the 1800s, this location, known as the Jefferson Plain, had become an impromptu area for protests and demonstrations. That's why when they decided to build the State House, they figured perfect fit. Build it right here.
And build it they did. The winning plans from McKim, Meade, and White were inspired by another project they were working on at the time, the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, that featured beautiful white Italian Renaissance buildings.
This was a building that just captivated the public. The public fell in love with the White City, as it was called, at the Chicago World's Fair. And so then to have a State House that represented that, to have a permanent embodiment of those principles, is something that was a very popular idea.
Very popular indeed, but not with everyone.
There were a whole group of people that wanted it to be out of a native Rhode Island stone, such as westerly granite. There was another group that wanted it to be of the trendy stone of its time, which was brown stone. They were doing a lot of that in Manhattan.
The architects prevailed with white Georgia marble after extensive erosion tests were conducted at Brown University.
It would have been a very, very different building.
As a concession, westerly granite rings the base of the building.
So they did the right thing by choosing.
They did the right thing. They did the right thing.
By all accounts, they did the right thing on the interior, too.
This is a very unusual use of space within a rotunda. Many state houses and the U.S. Capitol have a rotunda in the center, but it's usually a big void of a space. This space actually serves as the vertical circulation space within the building.
From the doors, the floor rises to the stairs that narrow, funneling you upward.
And from this particular vantage point in the middle of the building, the architects then sort of lay it all out for you. You see here the House chamber on the west, the Senate chamber on the east. You can see into the governor's reception room on the south, and the library on the north.
The House chamber has that down-home neighborhood feel.
It's fair to characterize that as a little bit less staid than the Senate is.
The Senate chamber with its simple, dignified space, a place for business in color and ornamentation.
You have vast stretches of basically unrelieved space in the Senate.
Restoration to make the State House true to the way it used to be 100 years ago is a full-time effort. From the colors in the corridors to reconstructing the marble terraces. When one project's finished, another begins.
I think it represents that kind of signal post to the people of their day who have passed it to us, the obligation that it's important to be proud of Rhode Island and that we have a lot of wonderful things here.
So far, restoration of the outside of the State House has cost about $7 million. The white Georgia marble is mined from the same location the original marble came from in Tennessee more than 100 years ago.
We cherish our past, that we value our past and the people who came before us, and we honor them by maintaining it and keeping it in good condition.
State architects say the work that's being done now will last for hundreds of years more and preserve the history for future generations to come. At the State House in Providence, R.J. Heim, News Channel 10.